Phoenix police under the microscope once again after several videos surfaced showing officers' treatment of two shoplifting suspects.
Drayvon Amos and his fiancee Aisha Harper say Phoenix police pointed guns at their heads while their 1- and 4-year-old daughters watched. The whole thing started after someone reported the 4-year-old had stolen a Barbie from a dollar store and put it into her backpack.
Team 12's Mike Gonzalez shows how the situation unfolded on camera, and we have to warn you, the video may be disturbing.
Drayvon Amos and his fiancée Aisha Harper never imagined they'd be standing in front of the media with their two young daughters, explaining what happened shortly after they shopped at a dollar store at 32nd Street in Roosevelt in Phoenix earlier this month. The family had then driven to a nearby apartment complex, about to drop their daughters off at a babysitter.
Car right now.
Things clearly get out of control fast. Someone inside the dollar store had apparently called police, alleging their 4-year-old daughter had stolen a Barbie doll from the store. When police contacted the family, Aisha was in the backseat with her daughters. Problem was, that door on the rear driver's side of the car is stuck and won't open.
It doesn't open. I promise it doesn't open. You're gonna get shot.
We're yelling out, the door doesn't open that side, like it doesn't open. Obviously, I don't have a gun with 2 kids in my hands, neither do he, he's right by him.
Phoenix police releasing this statement and a blurred out video on their Facebook page saying, on June 11th, 2019, we were provided video of an officer taking 2 individuals into custody while investigating a shoplifting incident in the area of 3200 East Roosevelt Street. This occurred after the suspect vehicle was stopped a short distance from the scene of the theft. It involved a man and a woman and 2 small children. Please be advised there is some language which might be considered offensive. The video is intentionally blurred for redaction purposes. The Phoenix Police Department takes the allegations of misconduct seriously, and for this reason, the incident is currently being investigated by the Professional Standards Bureau. In the meantime, Drayvon and Aisha say their 4-year-old daughter has been traumatized by the incident, and they're exploring legal options with an attorney. In Phoenix, I'm Mike Gonzalez, 12 News.
Drayvon Amos and his fiancee Aisha Harper were never arrested. We reached out to Phoenix police after the press conference for further comment, but a spokesperson told 12 News because there is pending litigation that it's department policy not to comment on an ongoing investigation.